to your functional circuits class. We're going to use a resistance band loop today. I personally am going to use my light one for the first circuit and then my heavy one for the second two circuits, but you can totally do it with just one. In the title of this class, you see the numbers 4 times 3. That means we have 4 exercises per circuit today and 3 circuits total. In each of them, you're going to perform each exercise for 30 seconds and you do them back to back. You then rest for 30 seconds before repeating. So in other words, that's 2 minutes of work, 30 seconds of rest. If there's unilateral work in the circuit, we'll complete 4 sets, alternating right, left, right, left. If there's no unilateral work, then you just complete 3 sets of the circuit. Now we will have some, although minimal, jumping involved throughout today's workout. It's not really until the second 2 circuits, and it is only for an exercise or 2. While we are doing those exercises that involve jumping, I will have a low impact modification playing in the corner of the screen. So don't let that deter you from doing this class. You can absolutely get through it without jumping. In between each of the 3 circuits, you get a full minute to recover while I show you a preview of the upcoming exercises. We will start class with a guided warm-up and we will finish class with a guided cool-down. If you love this class, you can get access to many more by becoming a Patreon member. All the information you need is linked to below. It's patreon.com/Nicole Pearce. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. And a heads up, I do not play music in the background because I want you to be able to listen to whatever you like. So if you don't have a playlist or a podcast or a TV show queued up, you might want to get that going. And with all that said, let's jump into our warm-up. You don't need the resistance band for it. And let's start in a tabletop position down on our mat today. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Start with a long neutral spine. And to begin, we're going to do a cat-cow, but we're going to articulate our spine from tailbone to head as we do it. So inhale to prepare. And then as you exhale, start with the tailbone, gently tuck it under as you round your back up towards the ceiling. Now stay for an inhale, feeling the expansion of the backside of your rib cage. And then as you exhale again, start with the tailbone. Unravel that spine, coming through neutral and finding a little bit of extension. Inhale here. And as you exhale again, start with the tailbone. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Round that spine up to the ceiling. Relax your head. Inhale here. Exhale, lengthen, coming through neutral into a little bit of extension. Inhale here. I'm going to do that one more time as you exhale. You know the drill. From tailbone to head, round up, separating through the shoulder blades. Big inhale. And this time when you exhale, we're just going to elongate to a neutral spine. Now we're going to come into a little bit of spinal twisting. To start, I want you to take your left elbow and you're going to lift it up towards the ceiling in an open twist. And then as you exhale, a little bend to your right elbow as you thread the left under the right, cheek taps the mat, and then you come right back into that open twist. Again. One more time this side. Come through center and let's take it over to the right. So your right elbow lifts up, open twist. And then as you exhale, thread the needle right under left, little bend to that left elbow so you can lightly tap your cheek to the mat. And then come through center, open twist. One more time. Come through tabletop and then up to a full kneel. We'll get off our wrists for a second. We're going to do a little hip hinge combo. Start with your arms reaching up overhead, but don't lose connection to your rib cage so we're not flaring open and sinking into our low back. We're going to hinge the hips back, arms go behind you, and then pause here. Give me a tricep kickback. Hands come forward, extend them back, and then everything comes upright. We hip hinge, keep a long neutral spine. One tricep kickback, opening up through the backs of the arms, and lift up. There's length through the back of your neck. Squeeze of the glutes as you rise up to the top. 2 more. Last time. And then hands back to the mat. Let's return to tabletop again. So spread out through your fingers, and then this time, I want you to tuck your toes under, and you're gonna lift your knees up into a 1-inch hover. So we're in a bear plank position. We're gonna come into some retraction and protraction of the shoulder blades. So I do this in almost every warm-up, especially if we have plank or push-up based exercises. We're activating the serratus muscles here. So the shoulder blades slide in towards each other, and then they glide wide kind of towards your armpits. Give me 3 more. Last time. Hips lift up, heels drop in a downward facing dog, and then just bend your knees right back to that tabletop hover. Lifting up, opening up through the backs of the legs. Long spine as you come into that bear plank. Last time. Now I want you to hold your bear plank, and you're just going to step your feet back into a wide plank. I got to come forward a little bit for space. So your feet are about as wide as your mat, can't talk. And then from here, we're going to start walking our hands in towards our feet. And as you do, bend the knees. Heels are going to drop. You're coming into a low, wide squat. Oop, hitting my couch. Maybe your elbows come to the inside of your knees. Maybe they come to the top of your thighs. Either way, I want a little shifting side to side here. Now hands come to the mat. Walk yourself back out into that plank position. We're going to do that again, but we will come out of the squat this time. So walk your hands in as you bend the knees. Weight shifts into your heels. Hands come up, and this time just stand. Take it back down into that low squat. Hands to the mat. Walk yourself out into a plank position. Walk yourself back in, bend those knees, low squat, hands come off the mat. Press the feet in to the mat as you stand up. Last time, sink it down low. Hands to the mat, walk it out. Walk it back in. Stand it up. And this time, when you walk your hands out into that plank, you are going to hold it there. We're going to come into world's greatest stretch. So I want you to take your left foot, step to the outside of your left hand. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling as you twist open. Hand comes down, foot steps back. Other side. Right foot, right arm. Take it down, step it back. Keep alternating. Left foot, left hand. To the mat, step it back. Right foot, right hand. Twist it down, step it back. Last time each side. Twist open, close it, step it back, right. Hand up, hand down, step it back, walk your hands in towards your feet, and we're gonna roll it up to stand. So we're gonna finish with just a little bit of dynamic movement and some light cardio. First movement, we're gonna continue opening up through the hip joint. I want you to find a wide semi-squat position, and from here, pivoting on the heels, you're gonna lift your toes up, externally rotate, so coming into a sumo squat. Pick them up again, come forward. Now let's find internal rotation and forward. Keep that going. Really think about where the turnout is coming. It's coming from your hip joint, not your knees and feet. Second movement, just going to be good old-fashioned jumping jacks. If you don't want to jump, you can step instead. Last time here. Take it internal, forward, come up into jumping jacks. Or you can step side to side. We're just going to go through those two one more time, and then you are into your first circuit. In 4, back to that wide squat in 3, 2, 1. Wide squat position. All right, pivoting on the heels. External, forward. Take it internal. Last round of jumping jacks coming up in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Give me 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to show you our first circuit. We're going to be gripping the band in our hands for this first circuit for some upper body work. I'm going to be using my light band. First exercise, it is going to be a back lunge with a torso twist at the bottom. The arms are overhead when you're standing, and then you lower them to chest height when you're at the bottom of that lunge. From there, we hold that low lunge. One hand braces the band, the other one is moving, and it's going to be a shoulder press up and down. From there, same arm is still the focus, but you can drop the back knee. It's going to be a lateral extension with a little pulse when you are wide. Final exercise, you come into a plank position. You're going to rotate into a side plank as you row the elbow up, and then your bottom knee is going to crunch in and step back. We are going to do this twice on the right and then twice on the left. If you prefer to alternate right, left, that'll make it a smidge easier, so I'll leave it up to you, but I'm going to do 2 and 2. Okay, so you're going to grab the band and you're going to pull out on it. So throughout this whole first exercise, there's tension on that band. Start standing, arms overhead. Right leg will be the focus to start, so keep that right foot planted, and your left foot will step back into your lunge. As you step that left foot back, lower the band to chest height. Exhale, torso twist over your right thigh. Bring it back to center. Stand, arms lift. Don't lose tension on that band. Now we're trying to keep our hips parallel to the floor. You might notice that when you twist, the left hip wants to drop down. Don't let it. So it might mean the twist is small. That's okay. Now coming up, it's your left arm that is going to be doing the work. Your right hand's going to still grip the band, but it's just going to be your anchor. We'll hold in the lunge position and do a shoulder press. So find the low lunge, right hand comes across to your outside left hip as kind of an anchor, and then you're doing a shoulder press on that left side. We want to stay low through the legs, and because we're upright through the torso in this split lunge position, you will feel both legs working to support you front and back. At any point, if this is too much, just drop your knee down to the mat. In fact, in our next exercise, another arm move, I'll give you the choice. You can stay in the hover, or if you want to drop that back left knee down, you can do it. All right, now from here, it's a lateral extension with a little pulse when you're wide. I'm going to turn to face the camera so that you can see me. Lateral extension, little pulse. Again, you can be kneeling, or maybe that back knee is still at a hover. Bring it in. Okay, we're going to come into a side plank next. And this left hand is going to come down to the mat. So you'll mirror me. The right arm will do the row. Okay, left hand to the mat, but still have that band hooked under it. Start in your plank position. Now as you drop the heels to the left, you're going to row open. Now take that bottom left knee, crunch it in, step it back, close down to your plank. Row open, side plank. Knee crunches in and out, close it down. And rest. Okay, so we're gonna do that one more time, staying in the same side, or if you wanna alternate, you can, but I'm just gonna do twice right leg focus, twice left leg. So starting at the top, gripping the band in both hands, right foot will stay planted as we step into that back lunge and adding in that torso twist at the bottom. Spread out through those right toes, ground down through it, step it back, hips are level and square, twist. So the torso twist comes from your mid-spine. The movement is not originated with your arms, so don't just swing your arms around. Coming up, we will hold that split lunge position. Left arm will be doing that shoulder press. Right hand still grips the band as your anchor. Let's go. Square your hips off. So take that left hip, pick it up just a smidge for me so that you're parallel. And both hips are also pointing straight forward, so make sure you're not opening up through that back hip. Could you challenge yourself and sink just a little lower through the legs? Lateral extension up next. Knee can stay hovering, or you can drop it down. I'm going to face forward just so that you can see the exercise better. Extend out to the side, a little pulse, bring it in. So the reason we kind of switch to the next exercise, your right arm is doing the row, is because even though the right arm is doing the row, it's this left shoulder that will still be working, stabilizing in that side plank. Get ready to mirror me. Okay, you're in that plank. Left hand stays down. You're going to drop your heels as you rotate open into your side plank and row, and then your bottom left knee crunches in and steps back. Close it down. Open up, row across your chest. If the knee crunches too much, just don't do it, okay? Keep both feet on the mat and just do the twist with the row. And if you need to modify this further, your knees can come down in a tabletop position, rest. But to modify, your knees would be down in a tabletop position, and you would just do that row, like that. Okay, we're gonna do that twice more, this time, other side. So these circuits are progressive today. I don't wanna say one is easy and the others are hard, that's not the case, but the intensity you will notice kind of dials up as we go. So if you're not feeling super, super challenged right now, just wait. Okay, now your left foot is going to stay planted. Your right foot steps back into the split lunge. Twist over that front left leg. Bring it back through center and lift without losing connection to your rib cage. Split lunge. Keep those hips level. Now check in. Is the band slack? If it is, I need you to pull wide on it a little bit so that you're active through the back and the armpit area. So coming up, right arm is going to be doing the shoulder press. Left hand is your anchor. So bring that left hand kind of across, and then we're doing that shoulder press. Level off your hips. Now make sure you're neutral through the pelvis so that you are not having an excessive arch in your low back. And if it feels too heavy with the band, bring your anchor arm up to the shoulder like that instead of having it down at your hip, and the band won't be as tight. Lateral extension coming up, your choice. Stay in the hover with the legs, or you can drop that back knee down. Pulse when you're extended. I'll turn forward for this one, and it also will just make for an easier transition for me so you can see me. Exhale, extend. Little pulse, draw it in. Broad across those collarbones. Plank variation coming up next. You still have the band in both hands, but you're gripping it with the left, and it's kind of anchored down under your right. So as you open up, row, bottom knee crunches in, step it back, and then close. Open up, left elbow rose to the ceiling. Right knee crunches in, steps back, close it down. Modify as needed. You can take out that knee crunch. You can also have knees down in a tabletop. Rest. Okay, just one more time through this first circuit. This first circuit is really total body. Upper body, lower body, core. Next one, it'll be heavily lower body. So left foot is going to stay planted. Arms start overhead. Pull out on that band, that's important. And your right foot steps back. Twist over your left thigh. Left hand will be the anchor, right arm will do the shoulder press in that split lunge position coming up. Okay, let's do it. Square off your hips, shoulder press. There's engagement through the glutes and through the obliques to help keep that pelvis neutral so you don't tilt it forward. Now, if you're tight through the hip flexors, it might be really hard not to tilt it forward in this split lunge position. If that's the case, I want you to drop your bottom knee, your back knee down to the floor. All right, lateral extension. Out to the side, little pulse, bring it in. We have one final exercise to go coming up. That right hand will come down to the mat. Well, both hands will to start, but right hand will be your anchor for the side plank variation. Let's go. Heels drop to the right as you row and open up into your side plank. Bottom right knee crunches in and steps back. Close the hips back down. Rotate open. And done. Okay, you have a minute to recover. I'm going to show you our second circuit. I'm going to move up and use my medium band for the second circuit. First exercise is a deadlift variation. You start in sort of a single leg squat position, both knees are bent, and then as you straighten both legs, you hinge forward, extending out into that deadlift. We're gripping the band with both hands for some added weight. You're then going to hold in that deadlift hinge position, and it's just a little pulse through your standing knee. From there, it is a curtsy lunge. You are going to add in a pulse at the bottom and a knee drive at the top. So to just show you from the front, it is a pulse at the bottom, come up a knee drive. Final exercise, we are finally going to add in a little jumping. It's going to be a lizard lunge. You step forward into a low squat and then you jump. If you want to modify, instead of jumping, you would just stand. And again, that low impact modification will be playing in the corner of the screen the whole time during that exercise. Okay, twice on the right, then twice on the left. If you want to make it a smidge easier, alternate right, left, right, left. Let's go. So the band is going to go under your right foot to start. Grab it in both hands. To get into position for the first exercise, take your left foot about 6 inches behind the right. Find a deadlift hinge position, and then you're going to shift weight into your right foot, pick the left foot off the mat, and flex that left foot. Now both knees are bent here to start. I just want you to straighten them as you hinge forward. And then bend both knees as the hips slide back a little bit, torso lifts slightly. It's a very subtle movement, okay? Just slightly changing between this full hinged position and then more of a single leg squat position, or more a deadlift to a single leg squat, I should say. So this first minute is a huge balance challenge. At any point, if you need to modify, put your back toes on the mat. All right, now I want you to hold in this full deadlift position. And from here, it is a little bend through that right knee and a little press. It's so small, it's a little pulse. Now, if you need to modify, a couple options. You can place a hand on something for support, a wall or a chair, or again, you can lightly have those left toes on the mat behind you. You will still feel it, I promise. Otherwise, it's long. Now, band is going to stay in your left hand for the next one. It's going to be that curtsy. All right, so curtsy lunge. Right foot is still planted, left foot steps back. Pulse at the bottom. Stand knee drive. Woo! Lost balance there. For our last exercise, we ditch the band. Right foot is still planted, still the focus. It'll be that lizard lunge to low squat. So ditch the band. Lizard lunge, but there's barely any weight in your hands. Now the hands lift up as that left foot steps back. Squat jump. Step it back to the lizard lunge. Forward to low squat. Jumper stand. Again, if you want to follow the low impact modification, it is playing. Barely transfer any weight into your fingers. And rest. Whew. It's a tough one. So you can choose to alternate, or I am just going to stay on the same side because I really want to reach that level of burnout. Okay, band is going under your right foot. Both hands grab the other end. Find the staggered position, then you'll hover that left foot. Okay, left foot is flexed. Straighten through both knees as you hinge forward. Bend into both knees as you come back. Left toes light on the mat for balance support as needed. I need them. Now hold that hinged position, and it's a little bend and press. Whew. Stay energized through that back leg. Really reach the heel back. All right, band in your left hand. Curtsy lunge, pulse, stand. So left foot steps behind the right to your curtsy, pulse at the bottom, strength and stability through that right side. As you come up to the top, squeezing into your glutes, engaging through the abdominals. We'll ditch the band up next. Lizard lunge to squat jump. Okay, ditch the band. Right foot is planted, left foot back. No weight in your hands. So notice my hands and my feet lift off the mat at the same time. So I'm forced to really stabilize through this right leg. Oh, rest. Whew. Okay, twice on the other side. So the band is going to go under your left foot now, gripping it with both hands. Stagger your right foot about 6 inches behind the left, square the hips, hinge forward, and then you'll shift the weight into the left foot, flex that right foot, and you'll hover it off the mat. Okay, now both legs straighten as you hinge forward. Both knees bend as you almost pretend like you're about to sit back in a chair. Your core is so important, so with every exhale, picture the ribs moving in and down, the lower abdominals widening and bracing, widening and bracing. Now hold this long extended position. It's a little bend and press through your standing knee. Wow, balance is so much better for me on this side. I was a hot mess on that first leg. If the pulse is too much, you can always just hold, or again, staggered position. Bring that back foot onto the mat lightly. Curtsy lunge coming up next. Keep the band in your right hand. Okay, right foot steps behind the left, pulse at the bottom, drive and stand. Whoa! I spoke too soon about balance being better on this side. There we go. Make sure you're adding in that powerful pulse at the bottom. Using the band to add resistance. Okay, now ditch the band. Left foot stays planted. Right leg steps back. Lizard lunge. Step forward to your low squat. Squat jump. Step it back. There's no weight or barely any weight transferred into your fingertips. Maybe you just reach them to the mat. Maybe you don't even touch them, okay? If that helps you stay broad across the collarbones, I'd rather you do that than hunch down to touch it. Rest. All right, just one more time. Band goes under your left foot. To get into position, find the staggered stance. So right foot like 6 inches behind, hinge the hips back. And then from here, you can lift that back foot off of the mat, that back right foot. As you straighten both legs, increase the hinge of the torso. And then both knees bend, hips shift back slightly, like you're trying to sit in a chair, but your hips aren't going to get back that far. Back knee comes in, back leg kicks, drive that heel back, back, back. Stay energized through that right leg. Hold the hinge position. It's that little bend and press through your standing knee. It's so small. Little bend through the left, little extend. Curtsy coming up next. Band stays in your right hand. Woo. Just as I lost balance. Curtsy lunge, perfect. Pulse at the bottom and stand. So as you stand, think of pushing your big toe into the mat, squeezing your glutes, abdominals brace. Ditch that band, lizard lunge, squat jump, let's go. Step it forward, jump it up, step it back. You got it, last push in this circuit. You're almost there. Oh, and rest. Okay, you have 60 seconds to recover. I'm going to show you our final circuit. For this final circuit, the band can either be around your thighs or you can have it around the middle of your shins. If the band tends to roll up on you, try it around your shins for this one. First exercise, you're in a low squat position. It's going to be 2 steps to the side, and then you come up out of that squat, give me a little calf raise, move in the other direction. From there, it's a squat pulse, and then you're going to jump the feet out wide, give me a wide pulse, jump them in, regular pulse. From there, you're in a low squat position, hands are going to come to the mat. We did something similar in the warm-up. You're going to walk yourself out to a plank position, jump your feet forward, you're in a low squat, give me a 180 squat jump to turn around, do it going the other way. Final exercise, you stay in the plank position and you're going to step your right foot to the right, center, left foot to the left, center, with an option to do a jack, jumping the feet out and in instead. I will leave that up to you. Because there's no unilateral work, we're just going to go through this one 3 times. Let's do it. So pressing out against the band so that your knees stay tracking in line with your middle toes. Find your low squat position. It's going to be 2 steps to one side, and we'll add in a little calf raise as we rise up. So step, step, come up, lift the heels. Don't worry about getting the heels too high. Again, I want you going straight up with the heels, stabilizing through the toes so that your ankle doesn't roll out. We'll hold low in the squat position up next. All right, from the squat position, pulse, jump your feet a little wider. Pulse, jump it in. Now I don't want you to lose tension on the band, so I don't want you to jump your feet all the way together, depending on how tight your band is. If your feet can come all the way together with the band staying tight, then go for it. Jump narrow. All right, now from your low squat position, hands to the mat. Walk yourself out into a plank position, keeping the feet wide, jump them forward. Jump, switch around. Walk your hands out other way, you're in a plank. Jump your feet forward, switch direction. Woo! Okay, now hold your plank position, feet together to start. From here, out to the side, center, side, center. If you want to take it into a plank jack, you can. Or you could do a combo. Maybe you step right, step left, and then give me 2 jacks. Any combo you want. And rest. All right, first time through complete. Going through that twice more. Lots of squat variations in this one. It's a tough one. Okay, we got those lateral steps with the calf raise. Let's go. Really stay low as you do those 2 steps. All right, now hold that squat position. Pulse, jump a little wider. Pulse it in, pulse it wide. You can step instead of jumping. It's only as wide as you can go, keeping the knees and the toes going in the same direction. So this doesn't have to be huge. I know you want out of this squat, but you know where we're going next. Hold that wide squat, okay? Hands to the mat. Walk yourself out into a wide stance plank position. Hop the feet forward. Turn it around. I'm showing the low impact modification in the corner of the screen if you want to follow that. Okay, we meet in that plank position. What am I doing? Here we go. We're going to step side, side. Now, because we're getting to the end of this workout, I want to challenge you. As we approach those last few seconds, can you take this to a jack? Let's go. Stay with the step if you need to. Rest. All right, one final time through. And again, if your band keeps rolling up to your hips, try this one with it around your mid shins. Lateral steps with the calf raise coming up. Let's go. My legs are like, get me the hell out of a squat. So close. We're in our final 2 minutes of work here. We'll cool down after that. So when you step to the side, push with the whole leg. Don't just step the foot out, okay? The band has to move with you. Okay, hold low. Pulse it. Jack wider. Stay low. We'll hold wide and go into that plank walkout coming up. Holding that wide squat, okay, wide. Hands to the mat, walk yourself out. Feet jump forward, land in a low squat. 180 squat jump. Last 30 seconds involving a squat, you can do it. Keep pushing out on that band. Okay, hold your plank position. Step or jack, side to side. Now squeeze through your quads and glutes. I don't want your hips piked up in the air. With your upper body, unlock through the elbows and really push the mat away. Now, can we finish with a jack? If you're up for the challenge, let's go. And done. But back to your heels. Whew. Just find a child's pose. Or it can be easier to catch your breath in a more upright position. So maybe you just kneel for a second. When you're ready, let's ditch the band, and I will take you through a cool down. Let's start by coming into a tabletop position. We did this in the warm-up, but this time we're going to hold it. So start by taking your left elbow up to the ceiling in that open twist. And then we're going to thread the needle, bending into that right elbow. This time, come all the way down and hold. And then I want you to take your right arm and straighten it, walking it forward. Deep breaths here. When you're ready, I want you to take your right hand, walk it in, press yourself up. Let's do one final counter twist. And then come through tabletop, other side. Right elbow lifts up to the ceiling, open twist. And then you're going to thread the needle. And we're going to take that left arm and walk it forward. When you're ready, walk that left hand in. One more open twist, right elbow to the ceiling. And then both hands down. I want you to tuck your toes under. Lift those hips up into a downward facing dog. Maybe you start by pedaling out the heels, but then I want you to settle into this nice stretch for the calves. Press both heels down to the mat and hold. Now coming up next, we're going to do a half pigeon stretch for the hips. If you know that's a little too intense, you have the option to lay on your back and do a figure 4 stretch instead. So you're either going to go there, or if you're going to come into half pigeon, let's take our left knee forward behind the left wrist, kick that heel behind your right wrist, lay the shin down, and you're going to scoot that right leg back. If you'd like, you can have a pillow or a yoga block under the hip for support. Settle in. I'm going to rest my forehead on my arms and just breathe. Now you can stay here as long as feels good, but if you're ready to move to the other side, you're going to press yourself up on your arms. Let's come back through downward facing dog. And let's take it over to the right side. So as you shift forward, right knee comes behind the right wrist, ankle behind the left. And we settle into it. Try to relax through the jaw if you're holding any tension there. We're going to come into a seated position next. I'm going to get there by just rolling to the outer edge of my right butt cheek, but if you want to come through down dog, you can do that as well. Either way you want to get there. Let's meet in a butterfly position. So feet together, knees apart. If this feels a little tight, just try pushing your feet a little farther away from you. Hands can come to your ankles. Start by sitting up tall. And we're going to start this stretch with a hinge, so don't round through the spine just yet. First, just think about bringing your chest forward. And then when your chest can no longer go forward without rounding, that's when you can fold. And if this shape does not work for your hips, you can always do this in a cross-legged position instead and just focus on walking your hands as far forward as possible. When you're ready, let's roll it up, stacking the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. You can stay here or come to a cross-legged position. Let's just finish with one deep breath together. Inhale, you're going to sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, release. And that is your class. Awesome job. If you liked it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I post new workouts here for free every Monday. If you want access to a bunch of others though, you can become a Patreon member. All the information you need is at patreon.com/Nicole Pearce. But basically on the 1st of the month, you get 6 new classes. And then on the 15th of the month, you get additional bonus videos. I also send out a monthly workout calendar. So if you want some guidance in structuring your week, that can be really helpful. You can cancel anytime. There's no commitment. Again, that's patreon.com/Nicole Pearce. I so appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys next week.